Cheers! It's been a while since I've made coffee on this YouTube channel, but it feels good to be back doing so. Today is currently Sunday, and I looked back on my YouTube channel and realized it's been 2 weeks since I've had the Lumix S9, and it just felt right that I do a little 2-week review on having the Lumix S9. In my opinion, the perfect companion to any Lumix camera. Let's get into it. In case you guys don't know me, my name is Jake Bensulock. I run a full-service media production company here in Asheville, North Carolina called Smoke Free Productions. And we use all Lumix cameras. I have the Lumix S9 IIX as my A camera. And a lot of people have asked me why I don't upgrade that camera. If I'm being honest, it's because I have zero need to. I love the image I get out of the S9 IIX, and until I find a reason to get rid of it, it's staying with me. With that said, I needed a second camera. And although I love the S9 IIX, I didn't need another professional video camera. By professional, I mean one with all the ports for rigging and everything like that. I kind of just needed a companion, and that's where the S9 fell. The S9 is this small, lightweight, plasticky, kind of like a cheaper feeling camera that packs the exact same sensor as the S9 IIX. I mentioned that it's cheaper feeling because the price of it is $1,200. And when you think about it, the cheaper feeling is probably how they got that price to be so low. Over the 2 weeks of having my Lumix S9, I have shot 2 weddings, 2 interviews, and captured plenty of content. And I finally feel confident enough to highly recommend this camera, but we'll get into all of that. So throughout this video, I'm gonna be dropping some footage from all of the shoots that I have done with this Lumix S9, and know that all of the footage that I am showing you guys is footage from the S9, so keep that in mind. For you to fully understand where this review is coming from, I want you to know why I purchased this camera. One, the price was so compelling, and it has the exact same sensor, so theoretically it was gonna have the exact same image quality as my A camera, which was very important to me. I could have bought the second A camera and just had 2 of them, but knowing that the image quality was gonna be the same for less money just felt like a better choice. And if it didn't work out, I knew that I could always return it and always upgrade afterwards. But luckily, it certainly worked out. I think this camera is the perfect companion for anyone who needs 2 cameras. Whether you shoot interviews and need a second angle, whether you shoot events and need a safety angle, or if you shoot a wedding and you just need 2 cameras throughout a wedding because you are constantly changing lenses and setups and going to a gimbal and taking it off of a gimbal. This is the perfect companion. Let's talk about the 3 reasons why I do believe that this completely changed my production workflow. 1, it's the size. The size of this camera is perfect because it fits almost everywhere. And it's super light so that I'm actually using some things like the gimbal that I wasn't using before because I would always have to take the cage off of my camera, change the lenses, take the filters off, whatever, just to be able to comfortably balance my camera. Now, I have a quick release plate, I pop it straight onto my gimbal, and it's balanced within seconds because it's almost built for that. The other thing is it's really not a pain in the ass to carry anywhere. When it's on the gimbal, your arms aren't hurting because it's genuinely that light. The second thing that has completely changed is I now have 2 angles on all of my shoots. Having a safety angle for most of your shoots is probably one of the smartest things that you could do. Setting up a camera that ensures that you can get creative with your other camera because you always have something to fall back on in the edit is just like, it's like taking a big heavy backpack off of your back because you could rely on something like this to just be sitting there and capturing everything important. And if you get some creative shots, you cut those in because those are probably the better looking ones. And then having a second angle for interviews is just incredible. Every time that I'm doing an interview, I used to have to be like, oh, you started a little bit, let's try to say that one more time, because I didn't have another angle to cut to. Now I do, and I could just cut between them. Our interviews go by faster, there's less stress, and honestly, it looks so much better, especially if someone's saying something like really important or really dramatic, to just punch in a little bit. And I could do that now because I'll always have a wide and a tight angle for it. The last thing, and probably the most underrated thing about a camera like this, is the fact that I carry it with me everywhere now. With the Lumix S9 IIX, it was just too heavy and too bulky to carry everywhere. But now, having the S9, it's so light, it fits with my PGY Tech safety straps, it fits pretty much anywhere I want it to go, and it doesn't bother me to carry around at all, which is so important. And I get to practice with a camera at all times, which means that when I do go onto production, I am far better with my cameras. Now, moving on to more things that are, I would say, important to just this camera, not just a second camera, is the image quality is far better than any other small camera I have used in the past. This has the same sensor, 6K full frame, as my S5 IIX, and it looks exactly like my S5 IIX, which is the most important part. Sometimes the same sensor doesn't act the same in other cameras, but luckily this does, and it's beautiful. For instance, the entire opening of this video was shot on this camera. I bet you couldn't tell the difference between this camera and the S5 IIX, because you shouldn't be able to. And that is a luxury that most people don't have when buying a second camera. Most cameras don't match exactly the same, but these do. And that makes my production workflow even easier because I only have to color grade one clip and everything else will match. But I will say, I don't think this is the perfect camera for everybody. If you're just starting out with a production company and you need a full riggable camera, I don't think this is the best option for you because it is smaller. The build quality isn't that good. The inputs that you get really don't match up to something like the S5 IIX. You only get a microphone jack. You only get a USB-C and a micro HDMI. You don't get all of the extra stuff like a headphone jack to monitor audio. You don't get 2 SD card slots. You only get 1. It's not built to be the only camera on a professional production, but it is built to be the perfect B camera for any Lumix user, and that's who I would recommend this camera to. If you need a companion camera, one that will make your life easier and not break the bank too much, this is the best camera that I can recommend, and I do recommend it for anyone who falls into that category. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any questions regarding the Lumix S9, the Lumix S5 IIX, me, my company, anything, drop them down below. Please like, please subscribe, and I will see you guys very, very soon.